My company accidentally paid someone for 5 years who never worked there. I work for a medium-sized logistics company. Nothing exciting ever happened there. Every day was the same. Emails, spreadsheets, coffee, meetings, and people counting down the hours until Friday. A few months ago, HR emailed everyone an updated employee directory. While scrolling through the list, one name caught my attention. Daniel Carter, Operations Department. The strange part was that every employee had a profile picture except him. Just a blank gray silhouette. I asked the woman who sat next to me if she knew him. She shrugged. I think he's been here forever. That answer didn't help. I'd worked there for 4 years. I knew almost everyone, even people from other departments. I'd never heard the name Daniel Carter. During lunch, I asked around. Every answer was different. He used to sit near the old printers. No, he transferred to Building B. I thought he worked from home. Wasn't he on the night shift? Nobody agreed. Even stranger, nobody could describe what he looked like. Not his hair, not his age, not even whether he wore glasses. It was like everyone remembered him, but nobody actually remembered him. That night, curiosity got the better of me. I searched the company database. Daniel had a complete employee profile. Start date, March 17th, 2011. Annual raises, bonuses, health insurance, vacation requests, performance reviews signed by managers who had already retired. Payroll records showed he'd been paid every 2 weeks for over 5 years. The total came to well over $500,000. Everything looked perfectly normal until I checked the activity logs. No emails, no Teams messages, no meeting invitations, no building access, no VPN logins, no security badge scans, no computer assigned to him. It was as if someone had built an employee entirely on paper. The next morning, I went to HR. The woman at the front desk smiled until I mentioned Daniel's name. Her expression changed immediately. She asked me to wait. 5 minutes later, 2 HR managers walked me into a private office. They thanked me for pointing out a clerical issue. They promised they'd investigate. Their smiles looked forced. The very next morning, Daniel was gone. His profile had vanished. His payroll record returned an error. Even the employee ID no longer existed. I figured someone had finally cleaned up an old accounting mistake. Then, around 9:14 that night, my phone buzzed. An email from Daniel Carter. Subject, thank you. The message contained only one sentence. Thank you for noticing. I stared at it for several seconds before trying to reply. The email disappeared. Not deleted, disappeared. It wasn't in my inbox, not in trash, not in archived mail, nothing. I checked the mail server the next day. According to them, no email had ever been sent to me. I started losing sleep. Every time I passed an empty conference room, I caught myself expecting someone to be sitting inside. Sometimes I'd hear footsteps behind me after everyone had gone home. Every time I turned around, no one was there. 2 weeks later, my boss asked me to come into his office. He locked the door. He didn't ask about work. Instead, he asked one question. Why are you looking into Daniel? I laughed nervously. I was just curious. He didn't smile. Instead, he unlocked an old filing cabinet and pulled out a photo album covered in dust. Inside was a company Christmas party from 2009. About 20 employees stood together wearing ugly sweaters. He pointed toward the back row. There, I found him immediately. I don't know how. Something about him stood out. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't looking at the camera. He was looking directly at me, which made no sense. The photo had been taken years before I joined the company. Then I noticed something even stranger. Everyone else's eyes reflected the camera flash. Daniel's eyes were completely black. Not closed, not shadowed, just black, like someone had erased them. My boss quietly closed the album. Don't look for him again, I asked why. He stayed silent for almost a minute. Finally, he sighed, because the last person who found him replaced him. I laughed because I thought it was a joke. He didn't. The following Monday, my manager announced he was retiring. Nobody knew it was coming. His office was cleaned out before lunch. By Tuesday, someone new had taken over. When I checked the employee directory, my boss's name was gone, as if he'd never worked there. In the operations department, there was only one unfamiliar name, Daniel Carter. This time, his profile had a photo. It was my boss. I ran to HR. They looked confused. There has never been anyone named Daniel Carter working here, one of them said. I pulled out my phone to show them. The directory had changed again. Now there was another unfamiliar employee listed. No photo. Blank profile. The name at the top froze my blood. It wasn't Daniel anymore.